What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. As you can see on the screen, we are back in Forza Horizon 4 today to check out the new car for the fall season, the 1970 Ferrari 512S. And you might notice on the screen I don't have my wheel cam on yet. We will turn it on later when we get to driving the car. I'm going to do the layout of this video a little different than I normally do these because I don't actually want to change anything about the car. So we're going to start off in just giving it an overlook and then going into customization to show you guys what you can do. And then we'll go out, drive the car around, and I'll turn the wheel cam back on for that. As you can see though, this model for this car is insanely highly detailed here in the game. There's just so much to it. For you guys that don't know, Ferrari for this car actually did what Porsche did with the 917. They actually built 25 of these so they could homologate it and be able to bypass regulations, run a slightly larger engine. This V12 was actually pretty much brand new for Ferrari for this car. It was kind of untested waters for them, and they had a lot of problems. They actually only won one race the first season they had this car out. It didn't do too well overall over its lifespan before they dropped out of Group 6, and a lot of privateers took this car and they went over to Can-Am and Inter Series racing with it, which it actually did fare better there. But their first year at Le Mans with this car, they actually only had one even make it anywhere near the finish. The furthest they had made it was lap 185 or 186, something like that. So this car didn't do that great. But they did make another model of this called the 512M, which had slightly better aero in the rear. And it really just helped sort the issues with the car as far as stability, because it was a very fast car, but it was not stable, and they just had a lot of issues mechanically. They had some problems with the suspension and other things too, but it mostly fell down to the car was not competitive from an aero standpoint. We'll go ahead and take a listen to this thing really quick. I'm honestly really let down with it because this car sounds amazing in real life. And as you can probably tell from that, this is just your standard Ferrari V12 Forza Horizon engine sound. Really wish they would have went with something a little better for this car, because like I said, this thing has one of the nastiest sounding V12s I've probably just about ever heard. It's a very beautiful car. Oh, before I forget, I did want to point one thing out. If you guys happen to notice, I don't know if we'll be able to see, yeah, you can see it here on the inside. They actually put the rear view mirror on the roof, which was okay for a lot of the drivers, but there were a few drivers that were over 6 foot that drove this car that would barely fit, and this mirror just literally becomes completely useless too. It was actually just there to be able to see what's behind you a little bit better in this car, because the side mirrors don't give you the best perspective from what the drivers said in the videos I've watched about it. Just a cool little add-on, and it did help some of the drivers out, but it wasn't something that really benefited all of their drivers, and it was kind of just a goofy looking accessory at that point. I honestly have to say I really prefer this over the 512M in terms of looks. It's a very beautifully done car. The rear, as you can see, is a lot like the P333s. Very swoopy, not too boxy and angular like the 512M was. It was a lot more squared off and boxy looking body shape to it. Anyways guys, let's go ahead and jump out here. We'll take a look at the customization really quick. And by the way guys, happy late Thanksgiving. Sorry I didn't upload yesterday, but I was just really busy with the family and wanted to take a day off for that. But I hope you guys got to enjoy it with your family as well. I hope you all had a great time. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys were thankful for this year. So as far as engine upgrades, it's pretty basic. This thing actually doesn't have as much as I thought it would on the engine. We are going to go ahead and upgrade the engine on this thing. But as far as the tires and everything else, I'm just going to leave it alone. I just want to make sure when we go to do a race in this, I'm high enough in S1, will be competitive with the other cars in this class. I'm not even going to change the brakes on this. I'm going to leave those stock as well. But as you can see, we can do race brakes on it. We can do rally suspension, which I thought was kind of an odd option, but this thing kind of does look like a massive Lancia in a way. So I guess you could get away with that. We can do trans upgrade, which actually gives us quite a bit to the PI. I don't think I'm going to change it. We might come back and add it later on. I really don't think it's going to be necessary for what I want to do with this car. We are on vintage race tire stock. Obviously we have all the standard options here. Nothing really surprising there. As you can see, race tires on this thing gives you a massive PI boost though. I feel like this could be a pretty competitive car online if you actually built it and tuned it right. But that's not what I want to do with this. That's not what I'm going to end up doing with this car at all. There's just a lot of other cars that are a lot better in S2 class. I don't think anyone's really surprised by this, but I am kind of let down that they even give us the option to put the racing V12 in it. And of course we can do an all-wheel drive conversion. So as you can see, we didn't waste a lot of time here in customization on this video today, so we're going to jump out here, take this thing for a test drive finally, see how I feel about the car, see how it handles in the game, because I have drove this car in other sims and I really enjoy it. I'm just really curious to see how it actually drives here in Horizon. Alright, now before we actually get into our test drive here, I do want you guys just to listen real quick. From what I've heard, the car actually does sound better when you're free roam on the interior view than it does in Forza Vista or from the exterior view. You do definitely get more of that V12 intake sound, but it's nowhere near as aggressive as this car is in real life. I will say that definitely is a lot better though. This thing got just brutal acceleration with those engine upgrades to it. Definitely faster than when I've drove it in other sims before, which is expected here in Horizon. It's definitely an arcade-based game, so you should kind of expect that type of thing from it. Definitely feels very floaty on the wheel. You can feel when the weight does transfer over though, and you start to get some of that mechanical grip on the outside. Overall, I gotta say, it drives exceptionally well for its age and being here in Horizon. The cars this old usually are much more difficult to drive and they feel a lot floatier. This feels floaty, but at the same time it feels very planted and like it's gonna go where you point it. There's not gonna be a lot of delay like there was with the Porsche 917 LH. I will say it is a little difficult to drive it precise though because of how sloppy the car is overall because of the body roll. And I did tighten it up just a little bit as far as suspension goes. Not by very much. I brought the bump and rebound settings up by about 1 point front and back. And by 1 point I mean like one full setting. So like I believe the rear was like 3.6, so I brought it to 4.6, etc. It definitely does sound better at high RPMs from the inside than it does from the outside. From the outside, it really does just sound like any other Ferrari in the game. Now, because this car is a car that was built for sports car endurance racing in Group 6, what we're going to do is jump into the Glide because it's the closest thing we have to an endurance race here in Forza, and just put it through its paces against some similar class cars. We won't really have a good field of cars that would be authentic for this, but we can get somewhat close with what Forza gives us. Well, it does look like we actually have a decent grid of cars for this. Got a couple GT40s, Maserati, Tipo. I'm not sure what else we got here in the grid. That's all I'm seeing really so far. Oh my god, what are you guys doing? Looks like we got a Porsche up here. Oh, that was almost such a nice clean overtake too, till he went wide and went into my fender. Oh, thread the needle. I do have to say this thing has a decent amount of liftoff oversteer. Definitely makes it a little bit of a challenge to drive, but adds to the fun as well. This thing actually has a surprising amount of traction on these vintage race tires. I gotta say, it's so hard to wrap your head back around racing in like the Forza style of basically being flat out a majority of the time and just pushing the car to ridiculous limits after not playing for like a week and just being in actual sims. Oh, come on. Almost held on to that. Apparently the Ferrari 512S is a drifty boy. Okay, let's see if we can get through in one piece this time. There we go. Whoa! I have no idea what that was. I'm assuming that was the AI, but that came out of nowhere. You definitely got to be careful with corrections in this car. It's very easy to overcorrect. Once you get the feel of the car a little bit, it's actually fairly easy to drive it and keep it stable for the most part anyways. A lot of it really is coming down to how hard I'm getting on and off the brakes to keep it kind of flat and smooth, and how much power you give the car, because it definitely does overcome those rear tires very easily with the kind of power it puts down. Really liking the way this car is handling. Of course I get pushed off track. I will say it doesn't feel as good as it does in any actual sim titles I've got to try the game or this car out in, but for Forza Horizon 4 it does drive fairly well. I already committed, it was too late to change where I was going. Oh, come on, GT40. Get it together. Oh my God. If it wasn't for this GT40, I swear I would be doing so much better. That was all my fault though. I definitely did not slow down enough. I thought I did, but apparently I just did not have as much grip as I thought I was going to through there. That was a nice save. I've really got to quit hammering the throttle like that in this thing. It just gets so sideways so easy. Wow, they were slow through there. This GT40 is getting real froggy behind me. He is all over the road trying to get past. Oh, that slowed me down real quick. I figured it was gonna just kind of bounce out of the way since he had already knocked it down, but apparently it was like hitting a wall almost. Oh my god. Threw it in that corner just a little too hard. Oh no. Wow, I just about got him just obliterated by that GT40. Oh, that was a little too much speed through there. Managed to hang on to it, but just barely. And, whoa! GT40 is driving dirty. Come on. Oh no! That about screwed me. I don't think we have enough in the tank here to be able to chase down this Porsche, but you never know with Forza. We'll just have to see what happens here. And I say that and I catch him up in the first corner we hit. Get out of the grass. Oh, this car gets so skittish when you get a tire off in the grass. Up into first finally. It's definitely been a little battle this race. Had to use a couple rewinds, but hey, it's Forza. I really gotta slow down how fast I'm shifting this car. I keep forgetting it really needs some time to engage the gear. Oh! Just checking out this thing's rally abilities there. Take a little cheeky cut through the grass. Now that I've made it past them, I'm not getting held up anymore. I am just leaving them basically. And I say that and I can see them starting to catch up on the map here on the straight. This thing definitely likes some throttle modulation. You gotta really get it just right in that sweet spot in corners, and this thing has no issue at taking corners at ridiculously high speed. You overstep that point just a little bit though, and it will not hesitate to light those rear tires up. Oh my god. Full setting through there. Oh, that's a wall. Really gotta quit looking at the map. See if we can not screw that up this time. Oh, that was so close. almost to the finish. They started to gain some more ground there, but held them off thanks to rewinds mostly. Well guys, I gotta say I've really enjoyed this car here in the game. I'm glad they brought it into Forza Horizon 4. It kinda is nice too, because we only had a handful of cars that really fit in this category. So it's nice to have some more added in there so we can really have a more full grids that aren't just the same cars when we do races with friends online, that type of thing. Just adds more variety. I definitely recommend you guys jump out and get this car if you haven't already and you have the chance. It's not terribly difficult to get because they do have a showcase remix in this season. You do got to do a little more than usual to be able to get to that 50%, but I literally did the showcase remix, the 3 PR stunts, and one of the race championships, and it got me to 50%. But I have also qualified for Rank Adventures already, and I did do the monthly rivals, so definitely gives you a big help. Anyways guys, thanks for watching the video. Once again, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below, comment, subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and I'll see you guys in the next one.